Well, here we are.
Oh crap.
Uh,
Uh, so
Hopefully the other Mike can make it in later.
yeah, hopefully. So
We'll see how well this goes.
yeah. So oh, what the heck?
Well, I see we've got a bunch in here.
Yeah.
3G, Jody,
Oh shit. I mean, oh crap.
Whip, Skull, Kurt, Jeff. We're just kind of playing by ear.
Yep.
So many
Might as well.
mics. Whip. Oh, no, we need more in here, Whip.
Yeah.
We need to get Mike from Fish Tank Barn and new local Austin's supposed to be joining us.
Yeah. Not sure what's going on there, but it is what it is at the moment. So could be technical difficulties on his end or
Or he
something.
could
I
be
don't know.
asleep still.
Yeah, this is true. So, uh, but excuse me.
Ooh, better to burp and taste it and fart and waste it.
This is true. This is true, sir. So, uh, well, like I was telling you, a little bit ago, been a long ass day. I started
Yes,
at
it
five.
has.
I started at 5:30, and I
Hey,
didn't get home.
Alex,
Didn't get home for till about 20 minutes ago. So,
so
been
it's
interesting.
run around and hurry up and wait.
Hey, yep. So, you'll have to excuse me, but I'm eating dinner at the same time. So, and of course, one of the few dogs that we have is sitting here staring at me, asking
Well, of
for his
course, yeah, I
portion.
got a bag.
Yeah. So, hi, Brutus.
Got got to bag.
Come here, my boy.
Don't feel bad. I
Come.
got a cat down here at the end, sitting between my feet, looking at me like,
Yeah.
hey, what are you doing live tonight?
Hmm.
Hey, Smiley, Granton. Actually, got quite a few in here tonight.
Hmm.
Surprisingly,
Uh,
I think Boxy was going tonight. So,
yeah. Well,
that's a
it's
good
kind of
idea. That's a good idea, Alex.
yeah. For some reason, the way that I was able to actually log in, I'm not able to see chat unless you put it up on the screen. Normally I can see chat and it's not an
Yeah.
issue, but
Alex was saying, everyone get all the mics you know and send them the link.
there you go. uh, it kind of started off as a little bit of a joke, but I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it, going somewhere. You know,
Maybe.
have you know, having a good time. You know,
Yeah.
so
6 inches of rain in my basement, the neighbor's tree across the road. In case of the Mondays on the Wednesday. Yeah,
mm,
yeah, I get you, Whip. You're saying you had a truck down?
yeah, my normal truck has been down for about 2.5 weeks. There's an issue with the hydraulics onto it, and
Uh,
Monday, the spare truck that I use, there's a sidearm. It was just handling really weird. So I said something to the mechanic. He looked at it, on Tuesday, and the kingpins are shot onto it.
Oh,
So
them are never fun to change.
no, but you know, knowing him, he's got all the tools, whatnot, to get them taken care of. So, and then of
Yeah.
course, once he figured out it was kingpins, it's he won't have parts until I think it's tomorrow midday. So hopefully
Fun,
by
fun.
Monday that truck will be up and running again. So, and I've got today I had 295 customers, had to do nothing, do everything out of rear load,
Oof.
truck, and then tomorrow I've got 195 that I've got to do.
Rear
So
load trucks anymore, kind of a pain in the butt.
yeah, they're great for a dumpster, but for totes, garbage cans, they suck rear end.
Yeah, you don't have the little lift on the back.
What's that?
Some of them have a lift on the back that'll dump them in.
Yeah, there's a lift on the back of it, but still, you pull up to it, you get out of the truck, you dump it, you get back in the truck, pull forward.
That's
You
why you
just
need a thrower.
yeah. Actually, the today between coworker and I, we did about 380 customers today. Yep, we covered his route and mine, and just we worked together right on the same truck and just kept it moving. So
That's all that matters.
so I mean it was.
You're on what? You're on residential, aren't you?
I've got mostly residential, but I've got well, yeah, all of mine is residential. It's just rural, type area. So
Yeah.
I mean I've got a number of housing developments that I do, but like my Tuesday route, that's a rear load no matter what, because I go to a lot of farms and ranches, pick up dumpsters, that type of thing. So that Tuesday,
They have their advantages.
oh yeah, Tuesday's route. It's about a 11-hour day on average, and I've only got 85 customers.
Well, that wouldn't be
It's
bad at all.
no, it's not bad. It's a lot of windshield time.
Yeah, always a lot of windshield time.
Yeah. My normal truck, I can, it's a lot of windshield time, but at least I can just sit in the driver's seat and operate the arm.
Yeah, sit and push buttons.
Yep, exactly. And luckily Fridays I don't have a route, so I only have if we have a holiday, that type of thing. It's all it is just I have to work Friday, do a route Friday, and that's it. Where the rest of the guys I work with, they have routes on Friday, so they have to work Saturday. So it kind of sucks ass for them, but you know what? I don't care.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I mean, I am a nice guy, and I'll go in on a Saturday, help them out, that type of thing, because they'll do the same thing with me, especially you know the last couple of weeks, my truck being broke down and needing the extra help and whatnot. So,
Yep.
but Mr. Brutus, you're not getting anything.
Oh, come on, Dad. Just a bite. Just let me sniff it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a
Uh,
sniff.
see if I can
I
do this.
promise I won't eat all of it at
Yeah,
one bite.
yeah. So, see if that'll. Yeah, I mean, he just sits there and looks pitiful. uh, so, uh, but
But
that's the way he is too. So he just feel sorry for me, you know, all that kind of
uh-huh.
stuff. So
Most
he's a
of them
good
do
dog.
that.
But he's the only one that we actually allow to be out of the kennel when we're not home. So
Yeah.
he doesn't get into anything. He won't get up on the counters. Nothing. He
Hey,
just,
Stephen,
what's
Jorge.
that? Oh,
Stephen P came in, Jorge, Lori.
oh crap.
Oh yeah, they're probably thinking, what the hell's this? What the hell's this all about?
Well, if New Local Austin was in here, we'd really have a mic drop.
Oh yeah. He probably forgot. He's probably recovering from Aquashella.
Yeah, that's true. So,
Foxy's in here.
well, she'll be happy to know that I do have my pants on at the moment. Uh, oh, come on.
Well, yeah, that's the idea, Whip. It's a distraction from all the regular, everyday, rat race.
Exactly. Uh, you get enough BS, as it is, so might as well have
Right.
some fun while you can.
Yep. Foxy, please don't stand up. I believe you.
Hold on. I promise. See, I have my pants on. She should know by now. I'm a complete smartass.
He's just gonna wait till the wedding.
Exactly.
She hasn't seen that G-string speedo.
Well, she said that I had to make sure that both cheeks were covered if I,
So
if
you
I
wear a
went.
kilt,
Exactly.
a short kilt.
Yeah. I mean, I am Scottish, so I mean, I'll just make sure to wear my own plaid.
There's just no ass to those jeans.
Exactly. There isn't.
No, Lumi, pants are optional.
Pants are always optional at my house, unless the kids are home or are up. Then, well, that's a different story. Uh, so
Yeah, what kind of started out as a joke is getting the mics together. Well, there's two of us right now. We'll see if the rest will show up later on.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's enough of us. That's for darn
Oh
sure.
yeah,
So,
oh yeah.
Mr. Brute, you are such a pitiful
I
little
know
pain in the
of
rear.
6.
Yeah.
Probably more out there.
Oh, I'm sure. Uh, just need to start spreading the word and get them
Yeah,
up here.
yeah,
So, uh,
yeah. We need a mic signal, kind of like the bat signal.
yeah. There you go. Uh, so, so I think it's actually starting to stay warm enough overnight that I can start moving more fish outside.
I moved out some today.
So,
We'll see what they do.
so did I tell you what happened with my angels?
Uh-uh.
So I went in the fish room, and both of them were laying on the floor.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, jumped right out of the tank. I don't know why, how, I don't know why they did. They'd been in there for a year and a half, without any issues, and it kind of, just one of those odd deals. So,
Yeah, I think they got their wings now. Webb.
oh yeah,
That was the only angels you had, wasn't it?
yeah. So I I lost the I had I kept 6 out of the last spawn that I had, and I had them all in my 55, waiting for them to pair off the whole 9 yards, and I ended up losing all 6 of them also, just
Hmm,
one by one. So I'm honestly, I think with those, it was something genetic with them.
probably.
So
I've
because
got one that their top dorsal fin is kind of bent at the end,
yep,
but I'm noticing now it's starting to straighten out. So
mm,
we'll see.
yeah, I had one that was like that I kept, and and as it got older, it straight. Well, it wasn't bent; it was kicked back quite a bit.
Right. This one, the
And
very top, like
okay,
top quarter inch of it's bent. So
hmm,
been
so
that way since it was born.
you know, yeah, that's the way this one was. And yeah, I just put it in his own, put it in the display tank, in the house, and let him, live out his life. And he, well, that one, as it got older, that top fin, it just started coming back, or coming up like it should. So,
Yeah.
and then I've got a couple of things in the works. I want to get another pair, at some point, because
Hey, Tommy.
the, you know, with a local fish store, that was kind of a bread and butter type deal with,
Oh,
with
yeah.
breeding them. And she didn't care, eh, how big they were. It was just, she'd take every single one of them. I mean, not at the same time, but she, start out dime size and just, keep getting bigger and bigger,
Hmm.
and she'd take every single one, as she was.
Yeah, you got to love a fish store that'll do that.
Oh yeah,
Mine
and
will
the
only take
nice,
so many at a time.
yeah, mine's the same way. She'll only take so many at a time, but once she was out of those, then she'd take another batch, and then another, and then another. I mean,
Yeah. See, mine only wants like 9 or 10 at a time.
hmm
And then after that, it's six, and then it'll be eight, and then it'll be nine, then six.
yeah, yeah. With her, it's basically start out with the first 10, and then she'll sell them, and then give me a call, and you know let me know, hey, when you get a minute, bring some more over, and that type of thing. So,
It's like
matter,
guppies I got now, the ones that we got from my granddaughter got from Jody P. Oh my God.
yeah.
I bet there's 30 of them in there now,
Hmm. So,
breeding like rabbits.
yeah. Yeah, I took, I think it was 10 or 15 panda cories into her the other day, and it was on Saturday. Took them into her, and before she even got them, because the way I take them in is it's one of those, well, like a Planters peanut container. I've got a bunch of those, so I just put them in there and transport them over.
Right.
And before she can even get them out of the container, there was a guy there that wanted half of them.
That's even better.
So, and I've still got a good 25, 30 of them, in the tank, still growing out.
It's like these green dragons. I probably got 60 of them.
Yep.
Because he only, the local store only wants like four at a time.
Okay.
So I'm sitting on quite a few of them until
Yep.
Cheryl makes a trip.
So,
I've got quite sitting here looking at probably 60 long and short fin green dragons.
hmm,
They're probably about 4 or 5 inches now, some of them. Plus, I got
yeah.
another male, the male in there sitting on eggs again. So
Hmm. I I started, well, my super reds. I haven't had a spawn out of them, or hadn't had a spawn out of them in a while. So I did a major water change, or a huge water change, about 90%. When the hell was it? A couple days ago, we had a good thunderstorm coming through, and did a big water change on them, and then but before that, I was just power feeding them 3-4 times a day, just
Right.
making sure they had zucchini in there, and cucumber, and green beans, whatnot. And then I did that water change, and both males are sitting on eggs.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll get those raised up and be able to sell some of those, because
That male I've got, he's getting greener. It seems like every week he's like an olive green now and getting the yellow on him. So.
Oh, nice.
Well, Greg Sage started breeding them. I mean, that's what he was breeding them for, was a finish and color.
Yeah.
So.
I've got a few plans. I need to start really working on that fish room. I keep saying that I want to do this, I want to do that, and it seems like everything else is pulling me away.
So you're procrastinating doing it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons that I want to get these tubs going, is the tanks that I'm going to be putting out here. It'll be basically one side of the fish room is going to be completely empty. That way I can really start doing what I want to do. When I set that room up, I had it set up so that my smaller tanks were at the very bottom, and then I put my 40s in the middle, and then 40s on top.
Right.
And which I thought was a great idea. And then I realized that I don't need to look in those bigger tanks all the time. I'm looking in those smaller tanks more. So what my plan is actually to put those smaller tanks in the center, and then I'll put my 40s that are on that center rack on the bottom, and like with my Pandacories and stuff that I really don't need to, I can just pretty much let go if you want to go, say,
Right.
as far as breeding, and go from there. So I'm trying to get it down where I have a tank of guppies. That's it. Right now I've got 3. I think some of them are going to live with the flower horn and the axolotl, quite honestly.
Oh boy.
And then I've got stir-by cories, and I also have Axelrod cories. I haven't, and they're both still, both groups of those are young. They're only about 2-3 months old right now. So let them get a little more established, and then hopefully I can start getting some fry out of them. Go from there.
Yeah.
But and then, oh gosh dang it, my swordtails, I've been slowly dwindling down to, I'm going to eventually get it to where it's only one tank. The swordtails, for me, I want to keep it, at least one tank, but they've pretty much run the gauntlet for me. I've had some of them for 5-6 years, and it just,
I just put a short up today on my Hellerai Reds.
Yeah.
The females actually came from New Local Austin.
Okay.
And that male I've had for a couple of years now. Mike sent me 5 females. Now I probably got, there's probably 15 or 20 in there. I swear they were pregnant when he sent them to me.
Could be.
So.
But.
Yeah, I've got some orange lasers I need to move into another tank. They keep laying eggs, but my damn either the snails are getting the eggs or the the plecos are getting them, so I
Yeah.
have to move them.
I need to go through a bunch of my tanks and just start getting snail free. They're
I need to pick up either some yo-yo loaches or clown loaches and just turn them loose in one tank because they would feast for about a week.
Yeah, that's honestly that's what I was thinking of. I've been thinking about doing is just get a couple and let them have at it.
I've got ram's horn snails in one tank so bad that
Yeah, I'm the same way. My ram's horns are there's I have enough. What I want to do is get it down so they're all in just one tank because I still need them for my puffer. My puffer.
right.
So, but I don't want to have to, go through tank by tank by tank by tank and, get a few here, a few there,
Yeah.
That type of thing. I want to get them all into one tank and then, let you know, let some loaches go, to finish out the little ones. So,
Right.
but
I had them all in one tank and then I dumped that tank out into the pond. And now I've got them in another tank and they kind of took over.
gotcha.
I don't know. I don't know if dojos eat snails. I don't know. I know yo-yos and clown loaches will eat them like crazy, but I don't know about dojos.
No.
Yeah, and zebra loaches too.
That's it. That's another nice thing with that my local fish store. Starting actually today, my daughter has a part-time job working there. So as long as I have her buy the stuff, I get an extra 10% off. So, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I've done that, Curtis. I've thrown snails in with my Oscars, and I've thrown them in with my goldfish too. And my God, I can fill a net full of them.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, dojos don't have the mouth to eat snails.
Gotcha.
I got a ton of them. I know that. I tried assassins, and it's like they couldn't keep up. So I might as well try loaches for a while.
Yeah.
Paradise Gourami eats snails.
What's that?
They pretty much. Lumi's saying that paradise fish will eat snails.
Oh.
I thought they'd pretty well eat anything. Chickens love snails too. Well, chickens will eat about anything.
Oh yeah. They'll eat their own poop too. So
Yeah.
there's a guy that I used to work with. Would not eat chicken. Would not eat eggs because of that fact.
I used to work with a guy that way too. We do have some chickens next door. My Guatemalan neighbors, they've got a whole bunch of them. I may have to round up some and feed the chickens.
There you go. That is all you're getting, sir. That's it. No more.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
come on.
but no. Oh, he's got that pitiful look on his face again, too.
Uh huh. Like, I know you've got more food, you're just not sharing.
Yeah. Oh, I just, set the plate down, and he'll look at it, lick it, and go, well, I guess you don't have more food.
Well, you can get him some.
He's a, he's about 12 years old, and he's our old man. The rest of them range from, well, yeah, because Treasure, Elsa, Haley, and Fred are 5, and Bailey's 4. So,
Foxy, if I feed chicken snails, I have a hard time carving the eggs. Makes the shells very hard. I would probably think so.
yeah. No, anytime you feed chickens, extra calcium, that happens.
Oh yeah, they put it in the scratch and everything a lot of times.
Yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, so with the fish room, I want to, with having everything, emptied out on the one side, I can actually, hopefully, get the water changing system set up that I want to do.
Yeah. You're not
So,
late, Jake. You're right on time.
exactly. He's always on time. Doesn't matter what time
Yep.
it is.
You can come in 5 minutes before we end. You're still on time.
Exactly. Because here you are.
At least you made it.
Yeah. It's kind of like, a number of my friends here, in North Dakota, we go on Indian time.
Yep. Yep.
So, and that's coming from, a number of Native Americans. So
kind of like the old, yep, kind of like the old saying: no matter where you're going, you're there.
exactly. Or when I used to drive over the road, and dispatcher would ask me, what time's the load going to be there? About 2 to 3 seconds after I get there. So
When it gets
they
there.
yeah, they don't like the customer, the customer doesn't like that answer. Well, sorry.
Yep, you're right. A wizard is never late. He arrives precisely when he intends to.
Brutus, enough. I know the other dogs are barking. It's okay. Shut up. But yeah, I've got, I think, got a total of 48 tanks. So I've got 40 of them in the garage.
You got that many?
Yeah. And range from 5 gallon up to, my largest is 75.
That's something I don't miss. All those tanks anymore.
Yeah. The ones in the house, they're all display tanks. I've got my community tank, I've got my cyclic tank, and then I've got my discus tank, and then I've got a tank in the bedroom that has a couple of betas into it. And then I've got our 7-year-old Anna. She has a 10-gallon with those neon fish into it. The glow fish.
Yeah.
So
A310.
But the ones out in the garage are predominantly except for the one that my Fahakas in, are predominantly for breeding. So,
right.
And I need to slim down, because it just seems like it's not so much slow down, it's more of concentrate more on fewer species,
Right.
or varieties, because it just seems like I'm going all over the damn place, and well, if everything's important, nothing's important.
Right.
So
yeah, ideally narrow it down to what ones, make you the most money. And
yep. So I've got 6 checkerboard tetras that are in the community tank, and they've been actually spawning in the tank. I haven't gotten any fry, but the spawning behavior is there.
right.
So of course, I'm thinking to myself, well, I should pull those guys out and spawn them and do this and do that, and then it's, well, shit, I don't have the room.
Right.
So, I mean, my the Trout Goodeids and the Amica Splendids, those two, they're not going anywhere. They're just I'm gonna split them up, into two separate. So there's two tanks of them instead of just everything in one basket with those.
Yep.
But
You're better
but
off.
yeah, but other than that, it's a lot of it is they're gonna be just going away. Whether it be to the majority of them are going to go through go to the local fish store and be sold off that way, and she actually they're going to be moving the whole store here. I think she said that by the end of September or the end of October. And she said at that point, she goes, I will take everything you want to get rid of, because we're going to have the, grand opening and all of that, all that kind of stuff. And she, so I said, well, I can hold off till then, but, we'll see what the hell happens.
Yeah. There's talk of another store opening here, but I don't know if it'll actually happen or not.
Yeah.
I might, otherwise I might have to try and take some of them over to the next town. Well, at least 30 minutes away, and try a couple stores over there.
Gotcha. I was talking with mine, and told her, I was talking to her about the Green Dragons, and she said, that she hadn't seen any personally. And, I said, well, would you be interested in, in any of them if I ever, was able to get my hands on them? She says, well, maybe, one or two, just to see, what
how
people,
well they do.
How well they do, that type of thing. She goes, because you're the first, she goes, honestly, you're the first one that's ever mentioned them. She goes, I know they're out there. I've just, none
yeah, and Greg Sage no longer has them, so.
Yeah.
They're getting harder to find. At least his bloodline, I've seen a lot of them advertised as Green Dragons, but they're not Green Dragons. They look nothing like what I've got or what Curtis has.
Okay. Well, and I know both of you have gotten yours from him.
Curtis got them from Greg, and then I got them from Curtis. So.
Oh, okay.
Jody's got them. Cheryl's got them. Jeff's got them. So.
Yeah, because I know, well, like with my Super Reds, they go as soon as she, gets them into a tank. She said, within a day or two, they're gone.
Oh, yeah.
They're so, and with it, and what she likes about it is they're all, everything's bred in, in the water, here in town. So there's no issues. They're really, virtually no issue. So.
Right.
Yeah, I found out from her on Saturday that she actually has a waiting list now for the panda cories, locally bred panda cories.
Hey,
I think there's there's two or three people on that list, and she when I told her, I said, right now I'm letting my colony just get a little bit bigger, so there's more of them, and I said, plus my 6 that are they're almost a year and a half, 2 years old. So,
yeah, they can only produce so much.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so they're going to age out here shortly. So, and when they do, they're just going to go into the community tank, in the house, and live out the rest of their life. So,
right.
But otherwise, there's I honestly, with the pandas, that's kind of been, my second go-to for bread and butter with her, because she, when she orders them in, she said it's like 2-3 weeks before she can even sell them.
Right.
So
hey, Vibes, welcome in. Yeah, we used to have one that they'd get their order in on Wednesday. They were selling them on Thursday.
Yeah.
And last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And I mean, she'll do that when it comes to certain suppliers, because it's people that are fairly local. I mean, they're not, she's not having them shipped in from Florida, that type of shit,
Right.
or from a wholesaler that way. But if it's from a wholesaler that's farther away, then yeah, she'll hold on to them for a week or so before she even puts them up for sale.
Especially if they're being imported.
Yeah.
They're being imported, you definitely want to quarantine
them. Mm-hmm. What? You're such a shithead. You really are. You're almost as bad as Haley.
Is he giving you the sad eyes again?
Oh, he's got his head on my on my lap the whole 9 yards. Like I need food. I'm starving.
Feed me.
Yeah, feed me, Seymour. Feed me. Kids, I'm telling you. He's almost as bad as my one beagle, Haley. She is. I call her my attention whore, because she won't just come over, put her head on your lap. She will come over there, put her paws on on your leg, and as soon as you look down, she's up in your lap.
Yep.
Shithead.
My cat's that way. She'll come over, put her paw on you. If you look at her, she's jumping up.
Yeah.
No. Okay, do it anyway. Yeah, you're a damn cat.
Yep. But yeah, I've got, like I was saying, I've got some plans I want to get done in the fish room, but it's just a matter of, especially with summer, it's between work and other things that we need to get done around the house, or we're trying to get done. It just seems like, and of course that's the only time I can empty out the fish room is, that much without really having to worry about, just getting rid of fish.
Mm-hmm.
So,
see, we're going to be having the bathroom redone here before long, and yeah, they're going to love walking through my fish room, going in there now, Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Breakfast burritos, huh? I'll be making them probably. Maybe tomorrow. Is what I got left over.
And breakfast burrito sounds pretty darn good. Might have to make up a couple.
These will be brisket breakfast burritos.
Oh, yeah, I feel so sorry for you at that point.
Oh, don't you though?
Yeah, that would be absolutely horrible, Mike. I mean,
yep, absolutely, just completely horrible.
Yeah, and I'm sure that brisket was on the smoker for a good time to get a nice flavor in the whole 9 yards.
10.5 hours.
Oh, yeah, just short time.
Yeah, short time.
So
I've had some that were on there 14, 18 hours.
Okay.
When I do one though, it usually takes about 2 days.
Okay.
Because I'll cook it one day, take it off late at night, and then hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I shot you the pictures of that, or you saw the pictures of that pork shoulder I did up. When that got done, the bone just pulled right out of it. Just, all right,
it's done.
Yeah. Oh, that I had it on the smoker. I think it was I had it set for it was set for 180 for the first 12 hours, and then I bumped it up to 225 for another, I think 10 and a half hours. I waited until internal temp was up over 200
right
on it, and then
205 is about right. And
yep.
Sit and rest for a while.
Yep. Well, I sat and let it rest for about 2 hours before I said, you know what, piss on this.
I usually let it sit and rest, let one rest till the internal hits about 140, 145.
Gotcha.
And kind of wiggle that bone a little bit, pull it out.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I let mine, go for about 2 hours, and then I pulled it, and that was what, Memorial Day weekend. So that was because that was on Sunday when I did that. Started it Saturday night, and by the time everything was said and done Sunday, the only thing left was a couple pieces of bark. That was it.
If I have anything left, we usually just make pulled pork pizza with it.
Yep. Yeah, there was nothing. There was nothing left of that thing. And nobody touched the salads. Nobody touched anything else.
But that's how you know it was right.
Yep. Well, hell, that pork shoulder was what? It was 14 or 16 pounds.
So, well, see, you need to come down here around September or so.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be throwing half a hog on.
Oh, well, just a small one.
134 pounds.
Okay. So, if I'm not mistaken, when I looked it up, I'm the best way to put it. It's almost like a triangle between me, me and your place, and me and Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost the same distance. Within about 20, 30 miles. So.
Well, Tommy, we took a whole ribeye roast, cut it up into 2-inch thick steaks, and threw them on over a good fire.
That's one thing I want to get a good ribeye, or a oh gosh dang it, I have not. Yeah, I have yet to do a tri-tip on the
tri-tip's not hard. It's not hard.
No, I realize it's not hard. I haven't done one yet.
Yeah, they're not hard.
So
I love cooking tri-tip. Tri-tip. So I'd rather cook shoulder claw, I think, than I would freaking brisket.
So one that I did a couple of years ago, actually, and I haven't done it since, but I told Bree that I wanted to do it here shortly. It's a 5-pound meatloaf.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it, it was, 5 pounds of burger, seasonings, all that crap through it.
Yep. Hey, Keith.
I think I did a mixture of sharp cheddar and mozzarella in the center of it. Oh, yeah. And then for the liquid for it, I used 2 shots of Jack Daniels.
Oh, hell yeah.
And, I put it on the smoker. I smoked it for, I think it was 6 or 7 hours, something like that. Because I started in the morning. It was done by, I think, 3, 4 in the afternoon, something like that. I'm, not exactly positive on, time.
Right.
Time I put it on.
Done when it's done.
Yeah, it's done when it's done. Yeah, and I was at my best
Hey,
friend's
George.
place. I was at my best friend's place, and his adopted mother is, well, at the time she was 76, 77, something like that, and she grew up on meatloaf, and she could not stand meatloaf at all. She had it. I told Mert that, I said, listen, just I want you to try it. I said, I'm gonna make, hot dogs or whatever you want on the grill, but I'd like you to try this. And she tried it, and she goes, cut me a slice. So cut her a slice. She ate that, and when everybody else had their, their share of the whole 9 yards, she goes, is there any left?
Yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
know, because I don't, when it comes to, a glaze on it, if you want to say, I had, I I did up my own barbecue. Well, I can't say my own barbecue sauce, but I did up my own mixture. But it was a little bit of Sweet Baby Ray's and a couple shots of Jack Daniels mixed in, and just did a glaze like that. And then of course with the I mean the heat's gonna evaporate the alcohol anyhow. But
Oh, yeah.
I think I used a total of 4 shots in that thing. For the entire. But the flavoring of it, everything just, and the way that cheese melted inside of that, delicious. My
Oh,
mouth is
yeah.
watering just thinking about it.
About time to make another one then.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, I'm hoping if Curtis comes down in the fall, I'm going to be firing up some stuff.
yeah,
Send him home with a doggy bag.
yeah, you know, uh, a cooler, about a
And
5-gallon cooler.
full, yeah. And maybe a load or two of driftwood.
uh, or 3. I mean,
Because all this rain we've had, my God, and there's more of it.
yeah.
I just noticed that today. I was out driving around. It's like, holy shit, there's more driftwood. Yeah, I can do that too, Curtis. I can send you home with more cookies. That last time he was here, I sent him home with some oatmeal raisins that were smoked, and hell, he ate them
Yeah.
before he even got
Oh,
out
jeez.
of town.
Oatmeal cookies smoked.
Uh huh. You ever heard of? You haven't
Huh?
tried that?
No, I
Oh
haven't.
yeah, I've done cookies and cakes, pies, bread.
I might have to try that with an apple pie.
It works. I've done it.
Hmm. Any particular flavoring or?
No, well, for
Okay.
apple, I always used like apple wood
Okay.
and mix a little bit of cherry in.
Okay.
But yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
I might
like
have to try.
Tommy said, you want to be easy on the smoke because you can overpower it pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. So you basically cook it in the oven like you normally would, and then just smoke it for a couple hours, or?
No, I do the whole. I make the whole thing up and put it on.
Okay.
No oven. You're basically using the
Yeah.
smoker as an oven.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So it's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Anything you can make in an oven, you can make in a grill or on a smoker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Cause I mean, I've done cobbler, that type of thing.
I've done
Or
smoked pecan pies too.
oh, that might be interesting.
Peach pie, peach cobblers.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I actually
Yeah.
just got a load of peach wood in, so
Hmm. Yeah, I've done cobblers, that type of thing, over a campfire, but I've never
oh
done
yeah.
anything. Yeah, I mean, and I get you can do it in the smoker. I've never done it, so might have to try it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start firing this thing up a little more often.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We do it all the time.
So yeah, Bree got me the smoker. Yeah, it was last Father's Day.
Carrie, you put it in. I make all my pies and stuff from scratch.
Yeah.
I'll just get it all made up and then just get while I'm putting it together, I'll get the cooker to whatever temperature I want to bake it at, say 300, 350, and then just put it in.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
I've been doing that for 15 years.
Yeah. Heck,
Now, if you get like bread, if you make your own homemade bread, Mike,
yeah,
and you got like a Weber grill, set it up for basically 2-zone cooking, charcoal on each side, open in the middle, and then just set your loaf of bread in the middle and let it bake that way. You'll get a really hard crust on it. But that soft will be just the center of it will be soft and chewy.
Yeah, horrible for my fucking diabetes though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bad thing about it.
Okay, that's one thing I don't eat a whole lot of bread or pasta, that type of thing anymore. And of course when I do, it's like, oh, this is fucking heaven.
Yeah. Yeah, we make like a cinnamon bread.
Yeah.
Or a banana bread. I do all kinds of shit.
I might have
Mike, we've been going for an hour now.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't seem like it, does it?
No.
So I think we're gonna have to, get in touch with some more mics and,
definitely
get the rear ends up here. So, I mean, it's just like, any other episode or, any other show that, you do, it's just, yeah, there's fish involved and everything, but, there's other BS that we talk about. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, everybody in the, most other people do strictly fish.
Yeah. So.
I'd rather just have a hangout. The fish is an extra bonus.
Yeah, exactly. So. But
anyway, I say we'll call her good there.
Sounds like a plan to me.
And if you haven't subbed to Flatbed, you're missing out. You need to like, share, and sub this if you like it. Get the word out that on Wednesdays we'll be doing this. And we'll holler at everybody next week.
All right.
Maybe then we'll have somebody else up.
Who knows? Never know.
We may have another mic.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, new local Austin, he can make it that, next week, and we'll go from there.
Yep.
So,
till then, we'll see everybody on the next one.
All right. See you later.